Hello everyone, welcome once again to Think Tank TV and thank you so much for joining me. Now, I've always been asking the question that why is it that the same people who were criticizing government are doing the same thing they were criticizing the government of when they have been given power to control and to lead the people? Yes, recall that just a few days ago, Chief Olusegun Obasanjo, Peter Obi and other political leaders stormed Imo State to eulogize with Emeka Ihedioha during this event.
Democracy in Africa has failed.
How many seconds?
And why has it failed? Because it didn't have any in context, and in content it's not Africa. It does not have any aspect of our culture. What we stand for, what we believe, Ubuntu. I am because we are. It is I am because I can grab. What sort of democracy brings you and you grab everything and then illegally, corruptly, and you say go to court? When you know that even in the court you cannot get justice. Democracy is failing. Democracy is dying.
Democracy is dying.
I am because I can grab. That's what he's saying. Democracy in Africa, that's how they're practicing democracy in Africa. Well, at a panel discussion during the same event, the leader of the Labour Party, Peter Obi, said that Nigeria's democracy is collapsing over the suspension of the Rivers State Governor, Sim Fubara. Peter Obi recalled how former President Olusegun Obasanjo attempted to intervene when the Anambra State House of Assembly impeached him as governor in 2006.
Governor to the court when President Obasanjo and Atiku were government. I did not pay the court one error. I was sitting in my house in the office and the court declared me winner. When the governor is not secret, it can't happen in Nigeria today. When I was being impeached, the president sent people to come and intervene on my behalf. Ken Naman came begging me, have people not to impeach me. Today, the president impeaches the president.
Well, all right. Let me take a reaction from Bayo Onanuga before I come to you.
You will defend it now.
What he wrote on X. I listened multiple times to former Governor Peter Obi's statement in this clip where he claims that democracy has collapsed in Nigeria. His hyperbolic remarks, suited for headlines, have been made without deep reflection and a lack of solid logical foundation. How can a democracy that has strengthened over the past 26 years be said to have collapsed? Only a discontented and disgruntled Peter who believes from the very free speech, or who benefits from the very free speech democracy provides, could perceive such a democratic downfall through his lens. If democracy had indeed collapsed, as Peter claims, and we were living under a regime antithetical to democratic principles, he would not have been able to make his comments on Monday at Emeka Ihedioha's colloquium. I will urge him to watch what he says and restrain himself from playing to the gallery. Is this a gag on free speech? I mean, free speech is our fundamental. But I mean, Bayo Onanuga's comment, I'd like for you to, highlight some of the points that he made there in terms of whether or not Peter Obi is asserting himself properly, or what you think about his comments about democracy collapsing in Nigeria. Ayo.
Interesting take from Mr. Bayo Onanuga, and I'm glad to finally see a response from the president. Yes. Expecting such. Earlier on, I don't think we hadn't taken this angle to the story.
Yes.
With Mr. Onanuga's position, he actually goes to further prove what Mr. Peter Obi was saying.
Yes.
Democracy is, well, I wouldn't go as far as saying that it has collapsed or it's collapsing. I'd rather toe the line of it's a work in progress. Unfortunately, I don't know how far the progress you would say has been. And I'll just ask simple questions. Number one, the fact that this thought or idea that, we're doing you a favor, that we're not coming down on you, you can speak freely. Freedom of speech, like you rightly said, is guaranteed by the Constitution of Nigeria. It is the right of every Nigerian. It is not bestowed on you. It is not a privilege. It is your right as a Nigerian citizen to express yourself in such a manner. And then if you want to even analyze how free freedom of speech has been under this administration, in only 2 years they've come under a lot of criticism for their intolerance to feedback and okay, just look at the example of the lady with the NYSC girl, the young Nigerian who came out to complain, not because she belonged to any party, and she was swooped down by NYSC and NYSC staff themselves. We've talked about people who were picked up because they insulted the president or laid curses of the president, and sometimes there's that blurring of line between culture and what is the law in terms of how dare you speak to your elders. At the end of the day, every Nigerian above the age of 18 is an employer of the elected president, because if you went to vote, part of your vote was used to employ who is sitting as president today.
A couple of things. Isn't it just very funny? You see, this democratic thing too is also very funny. I don't think democracy is dying. I just think there's a reign of strong men and their impunity follows them, because we don't have checks and balances in the system due to poverty, due to prebendalism, due to many factors, illiteracy as it were. But isn't it shocking today that Mr. Bayo Onanuga, whose paper, the news, called, called state of emergency declared by Obasanjo dead, in another name. In another name. Yeah. Yes, that's what the news said. Is it not, and all the things he condemned Obasanjo for, his president that is working for today, he's doing them, and he can't openly condemn them again. So you can see the way ties have changed.
Right.
For him to say, Mr. Peter Obi, he can only talk because there's democracy. We have heard a lot of free speech being stifled. We've talked about Ri. What about the people arrested? What about the lady that said she cursed at President Tinubu and she was picked up? So we have many things like that. But also for Mr. Peter Obi, you see, I keep insisting, the way we have big men in this country that makes it so easy for them to have a winner-takes-all mentality is the problem. I have seen a couple of messages. I'll say, Mr. Peter Obi that is talking as a democracy, when he was governor of Anambra State, he ran the state with also sole administrator of the local government. And I've taken that question to him many times. He's rebuttal a little bit, but there were cases in court. So when you look at it across board, there's always a latitude to be able to do these things. The question is, how can we slim down that latitude?
Yes.
Because the same Mr. Peter Obi that said Obasanjo fought for him, when he was impeached, the same Rashidi Adewolu-Ladoja cannot say the same of Obasanjo when Adedibu did impeach him. I know of that incident because I was around the part of that period. I know what happened. There was skirmish, there was fights at the parliament in Ibadan that day with a lot of thugs. So the same Obasanjo that was good to him, Adewolu-Ladoja cannot say that was the same case with him.
Alright.
So it's both ways. But the question we should ask is, why is it that men that were once called defenders of democracy, people like Tinubu, are now those against the tenets of democracy today?
Right.
Why is it that men like OBJ, that in their time, they could have done it better, they didn't do it better, they violated those tenets, and now they keep
Exactly.
That's what we should fix.
Yes, yesterday we took a story of a former Lagos State Governor, Fashola, who called President Bola Ahmed Tinubu a champion of democracy. But it is important that we continue to foster democracy in Nigeria. And to do that, we need strong voices, strong opposition leaders to continue to challenge the government of the day.
You've seen it for yourself. Now, I've been wondering that why is it that the same people who were criticizing government many years ago, as they have been given the opportunity to lead the nation, are doing exactly what they were criticizing the government about? Yes, one may begin to wonder. It's obvious that our leaders do not understand the role or the difference between servanthood and masterhood. Obviously, they are treating Nigerians as people who are their servants. Otherwise, if they understand the plight of Nigerians, they should understand that if Nigerians come out to criticize them, it is by no means out of place for them to say that we don't like the way we are being treated. Because of course, just like Dr. Ruben Abati said, it is the vote of Nigerians that made these people to get into power in the first place. Yes, government begins to make it look like them not reacting to the criticisms coming from Nigerians and from stakeholders is obviously a favor they are doing to us. But that's not what it is. It is we that are doing them a favor by not reacting to their bad governance. And that is why when people come out to react, the government should by all means take a look at what the people are saying and do something constructive about it. Yes, I didn't expect anything less from Bayo Onanuga because of course his duty is to continually defend the integrity of the APC and President Bola Ahmed Tinubu's government, and he's doing it rightfully well. But just like Rufai said, that the same thing he said, former President Olusegun Obasanjo declared a state of emergency, that state of emergency was obviously a coup in itself. You've seen it for yourself that the same thing he was criticizing is what President Bola Ahmed Tinubu is doing today, and he is going ahead to defend him. And that tells you that obviously majority of us are obviously kleptocrats, majority of us are sycophants, majority of us are pretenders. And this is what is meted on Nigerians by the political class to make sure that we are stiffened with poverty, to make sure that we are stiffened with ignorance and fear, to ensure that we accept whatever they give to us as a norm in society. But the truth is that, just like Omoyele Sowore would say, revolution may come anytime from now. When Nigerians get to the big wall and bounce back, you're not going to be expecting anything different from them. They are going to be coming with a full-fledged revolution, and that may not be the best time for the government of the day to do something necessary. We'd love you to drop your own thoughts in the comment section. Let's get to know what you think about the reactions of Goodluck Ebele Jonathan, Obasanjo, Peter Obi, and other stakeholders that have condemned the actions of President Bola Ahmed Tinubu to declare a state of emergency in Rivers State, and we shall continually be here to serve you. Many thanks indeed to all our viewers and returning subscribers. We really don't take it lightly. My name again is Moses, and this is Think Tank. See you on our next video.